So a court in Istanbul, Turkey, issued an arrest warrant for Bibi Netanyahu, Benjamin Netanyahu. So what they're citing is that he's committed a list of crimes that violate international law, and that in Turkey they're willing to prosecute him. So if Netanyahu was to make a trip to Turkey, he could be arrested and he could be detained. He could actually be arrested and then would be held trial in Turkey. Something that people need to realize is that historically, it's not Iran that is the main threat or main enemy of Israel. It's actually Turkey. The part of that piece of territory, the Levant, where Israel, Lebanon, Jordan, that area used to be part of Turkey. It used to be part of the Ottoman Empire. And Turkey looks at this like it's their backyard. They're getting an influx of migrants coming into Turkey from places like Jordan, from places like Syria, because of the chaos that's happening, because of the wars that currently are being prosecuted by Israel. That's creating the destabilization that's pushing all these people north into Turkey. So it affects Turkey. Not only that, but Israel is currently, how should I say this, kind of uppity geopolitically. I mean, they're at war with several countries, and the countries that have been watching and been doing a bit of restraint is Turkey and Egypt. That might not last that much longer. Netanyahu wants there to be a war because he is currently in the midst of this huge scandal. The judge that was presiding over his trial keeps dying. There's been 2 judges so far that have died, that were supposed to oversee his the investigation that's going on. So Netanyahu wants to have a major war to distract the Israeli population going into the election. This is a disaster for Israel. It's a disaster for everybody else. Netanyahu needs to be removed from power just by virtue of what he is doing. He's trying to start all these wars. It's not in Israel's interest to do this, and he's doing it to distract so that he can get a series of things through that's not in the interest of anybody except for him and his ideological group, his little cabal, the neoconservative Zionist group, the really hardcore ones, the Greater Israel Project. Like I said, it's a disaster. It's actually going to be destabilizing for Israel. This is not in Israel's interest to do what they are doing, but Netanyahu right now is in the driver's seat. So, like I said, historically, Turkey is a much bigger enemy of Israel than Iran is. So if Turkey is making these kind of declarations, like you have the legal system in Turkey saying that they're going to arrest Netanyahu, something really big might be on the horizon. If Turkey, in fact, enters the war, that would change things massively. Turkey is a member of NATO, and effectively you would have 2 NATO countries possibly at war with each other. NATO's already kind of on its way out anyway, but that would have massive ramifications for the region if that were to happen. And that's a possibility too. So Netanyahu, the system in Israel, they need to progress this. They need to actually seriously look at the possibility that they may have to remove him from his position.